4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The biggest names in music.
Oh, wow.
Big names, big songs, big guests, big prizes.
Well, it's a big show. Okay.
The Big Show.
Put your hands together for the one and only
Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean.
That's what I'm talking about.
1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
1, 2, 3.
Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's a Tuesday and that's why we have the one, the only Dr. Geraldine Tan with us. Good morning, Gerry.
Morning.
Morning.
And one of the credits. Morning, beautiful people.
Gerry, I think it was last week that we received, an email, a very nice email, right, from someone who says that they love you.
Oh.
And I think they want to thank you for always helping people out on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And they tune in just for you because you make them feel good. You make them feel better. I think Angel has...
Yes, this person says that they always love listening to Dr. Gerry on Tuesday during their drive to work. Always helps me through my days. But this person's speaker is also spoiled and they haven't been able to repair it. But they're going to be tuning in to Facebook Live when they can't get to listen to us on radio. So they really enjoy listening to our session.
Oh, wonderful. And I have to thank all of you for hosting because without all of you, this Therapy Tuesdays would not be, right?
It is a session I look forward to every week.
True.
I
Yeah.
personally
Very
look
true.
forward to it.
Oh,
It's almost like we're receiving therapy, by talking to you.
In many ways.
We've
It
got
does
our
help
own
us.
therapist in our pockets.
Group therapy.
group therapy. We're doing group therapy.
And this is what we want. We want to help, all radio listeners
Yeah.
on a daily basis if we can.
Yeah,
And
for
that's why we
sure.
have all of you fantastic people on the show, to help our radio listeners out in one way or another. And here's a bit of news as well, okay? We're thinking of expanding this a little bit more. And I'm talking to the radio listeners right now, because Dr. Gerry has been such a hit, along with everyone else. But we are probably going to get another doctor on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, on Wednesdays, right? So we want to know from our 1FM listeners, and you can get in touch with us via our WhatsApp, 88550913. What are some of the medical conditions you might want to have us address?
Yeah.
Or this next doctor address?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
doctor or doctors,
Correct,
all right?
yeah.
One thing that we don't need is mental wellness, because
Yeah,
that one
Dr.
we're leaving
Gerry
it to
is-
Dr.
does
Gerry
that, yes.
already.
Yeah. Yes.
But anything else?
So this is more a physical thing, right?
Yes,
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Anything else, get in touch with us, 88550913. We want to make this happen on a regular basis on a Wednesday.
For sure. Yeah. So remember to
Okay.
text in to our WhatsApp number again, 88550913. Okay, let's head back to Dr. Gerry
Yeah.
because she's sitting pretty and waiting for us to speak about our topic for today, which is risk-taking behavior in the news. Dr. Gerry.
Yes, it's risky behavior as it's usually called, but because of all the risk-taking behaviors that we have seen in the news, I thought I wanted to talk about this, and I think that I'll share about a couple of young people that was telling me about certain things last week. Yeah.
So
yeah.
how do
All right,
you...
let's talk about this on the Big Show TV. We have Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room with us. Up next, Aqua. Here's Turn Back to Time on 1FM 91.3.
So, Gerry, how does one define risk-taking behavior? Investing in Bitcoin?
Okay. Let's go with the very traditional definition first, and
Yeah.
I'm going to read, right? So the definition goes like any consciously or non-consciously controlled behavior with a perceived uncertainty about its outcome and or about the possible benefits or cost for the physical, economic, or psychosocial well-being of oneself or others. So it's a whole mouthful there, but it's more fun, as I realized over the last few weeks, to ask your definition
Us? You're talking to us?
yes, of risk-taking behavior. Well, I can say that I took a risk by, getting another unit because I had to leave my unit. So those on the Big Show TV can see that the background is different already. Yeah. So there's a risk that I had to take. Who knows what will come out of it. So that's my risk. That it's a change to me. A change is a little bit of a risk.
Yeah.
I thought it was risky behavior. Like that's
not
a
risky.
different kind of risk, right?
But it is risky behavior.
I'm asking about
Business
your
risk, I guess.
It's your definition.
I would say risky behavior to me is something that I would do that I know might get me into trouble or put me in danger.
Yeah, that's how I would define it.
If it comes to everything else, it would be going into the unknown. Because everything is a gamble, right?
Me being promiscuous.
Oh,
That's risky
yeah,
behavior.
that's very risky behavior.
to me.
Yes.
I wanted to be promiscuous when I was in school. And then I decided, I think I want to
I'll
save
go ahead
myself
and do
after
it.
marriage.
To be promiscuous
So,
after marriage?
No, save himself.
So,
Save himself.
yeah. So when I was in school, I wanted to sleep with every single girl. Right? And then I decided, no, that's not the right way because I should save myself for
I think
marriage.
I think
That's beyond saving.
I think most boys are like that when they're in school. They just want to be promiscuous. Most of us don't because we can't spell the word.
Oh, so you're saying that it was normal for me to?
Yeah, come on.
Was it normal, Gerry, for me to
Be
have,
promiscuous?
want
Oh,
to be?
okay. Well, if that goes into
Jerry's like, this is not where we started.
She regrets
no,
asking us now.
but it flows into when does it occur, right? There are developmental stages, and definitely the teens, the youths, are a little bit more impulsive.
She looks
Yes.
like she's blushing.
No, I'm not. But Glenn has this way of coming up with weird things, right?
Creative. It's so creative.
Brain cycles.
No, he's very honest. And he just cuts straight to it, like no holds barred, man.
I've taken there's some people who do these tests where you can find out just what kind of risk taker you are. Whether you're a big risk taker. I'm a very conservative person when it comes to taking risks.
So calculated.
I would rather not if I can. So I don't like taking risks. The biggest risks I have taken have always been, oddly enough, even though I'm a conservative risk taker, I've been with my career. Getting into radio, massive risk. Who knew whether it was going to work or not? Because I was trained in a completely different field. Moving from one side to here, massive risk. But those are probably the two biggest risk-taking situations I've ever been
For
in.
you. Sean?
I look like a risk taker, but I'm actually quite scared.
Conservative as well.
Yeah, so very conservative. I like stability. I like to, the same thing every single day, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Except for the tattoos.
Tattoos are not risky, right?
That's true as well.
What would you consider as risk, Sean?
Risk, investing all your money in one stock, or that kind of thing. Putting everything on the line for a big payoff.
Putting everything into cryptocurrency.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Something dropping everything and moving to another country to start a new life.
That's a risk, yeah?
okay,
That's a big risk, yeah.
How about, truancy?
Okay.
From
means,
school and work?
don't go to school.
Yep.
Is that a risk? Yeah, for sure it's a risk. Yeah.
Risk, get
It
caught
is.
by the police,
Yeah,
huh?
getting caught. The risk is getting caught.
Cheating on your spouse.
That's
Yeah.
risky
Yeah.
Risky
behavior,
behavior.
100%.
Yeah.
Cheating in business as well.
Cheating in business.
In business as well.
Scamming a
That's
company,
scammings, frauds. That's
all
risky
risky behavior.
Yep.
That's true. Yep. So,
Smuggling drugs.
Oh my gosh, yes.
See,
That's
nobody wanted to say
true.
that, right?
Yeah, nobody.
I didn't
I think
think of
anything
it.
Yeah.
criminal is, right?
Yeah, that's
Anything
true.
criminal is.
Yeah, I think Glenn has that criminal mind.
Hey,
Wow.
Nobody else thought about
That's
it.
true.
Nobody-
That's right. So when does risky behavior occur? Is there a moment that we decide we're going to be risky, or does it come naturally, or what happens?
Okay, there are 5 different areas. So just now, Glenn, segue into that whole developmental stage. So at different developmental stage, we do take risks, and the teens, the youth, they engage in a lot of risky behavior because they're exploring the world. They're trying to find out. They're trying to feel around the world. What is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So, the sex, not only sex, but unprotected sex. Because it is quite exciting. How do you say that? Sex texting?
Yeah.
Sexting.
Yes. Yep. We were talking about, sending nude photos and everything a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, the risky uses, of using the social media. Smoking is one. So you have a lot of teens trying out smoking at that time, or substances, drinking, driving without a license, driving and then driving without a license.
Yeah.
What makes people do that, though? Okay, let's go on air and we'll talk about that. Okay.
Risky behavior.
So your last question,
Okay.
Angel.
When does it occur?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Stand by.
Here we go. John Mayer, your body is a wonderland. Right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We're also on The Big Show TV with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Gerry. We're talking about risky behavior this morning.
Yes.
And Dr. Gerry, I asked earlier on the Big Show TV, when exactly does risk taking occur? Like, is there a moment that we decide to take risks, or is it in us? Does it come naturally?
So I kind of mentioned that it is during the developmental stage, and the most risky stage would be the teenage years. And the teens tend to be a little bit more susceptible to risky behaviors because they're more impulsive. They still have not developed that ability to think through things, to rationalize through things. So they are a little bit more impulsive. So that's why we say that they have not matured. Okay, so they are very blanket, and we just put that they are very immature, but it's because their brains have not developed fully yet. So it takes until about 25 years old before the brain fully matures.
Really? 25?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So what are some of the risky behaviors that you're talking about? Maybe you can put us through this test and see whether we actually went through it when we were in our teens.
Okay.
No, I don't have a test today, but
Okay.
I was talking about sex, unprotected sex. Trying alcohol, the different substances, illegal substances, fighting, driving, and then driving without a license, playing truant from school, or playing truant from wherever it is.
I think
Okay.
I've done all that, no, except the unprotected sex and what was the other one?
The illegal substances.
Illegal substances. Actually, I wanted to do.
Okay. Wanted and did is very different.
But then I was like,
dear.
okay, I'll just smell the glue from afar.
Oh no!
Not in the packet
In the
and stuff like
plastic
that,
bag,
right?
as they do.
Yeah.
So I think maybe what was the other one? Driving without a license.
License.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do that as well. But
Like-
everything else,
These are only a few examples, right?
that's quite a number of things.
Yeah, you got quite a few examples.
But developmental stage is one. Then there is personality. I think FD was talking about personality types. Some people are more risk averse. Some people take risks. They are more adventurous, perhaps. Then there's hereditary. If your parents are risk takers, they are a bit more adventurous. They're maybe rock climbers. They are thrill seekers. I did, my thesis was actually on protective factors for siblings who have had a sibling incarcerated, with a risking behavior. And oh my gosh, there was a lot. Like, the correlation of a sibling and being incarcerated, risk-taking behavior, and the other sibling following suit is really high.
Wow.
Yeah. So hereditary. I see I'll pause for a while.
Yeah, 'cause that must be so heartbreaking for the parents, right?
Well,
If you're talking about two kids being incarcerated.
But that's kind of like influence, isn't it?
It's influence.
It's more peer pressure influence
But
that causes them to be risky.
So again, nature versus nurture, the very age-old, argument, which one causes what. But studies are out there, they see the very high correlation, so they infer.
Okay.
Okay. We are speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room about risky behavior. More juicy conversations on the Big Show TV, so you want to switch back and forth. Or, just if you're driving, just watch us and drive at the
No,
same
please
time.
don't. That's
risky
not
behavior.
risky behavior.
There you
That's
go.
risky.
Okay,
The
all right.
definition of.
But it's worth it.
No, it's not. No.
Sean Mendes is next. He has Mercy on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. Good morning.
So, Gerry, we've got Chris on our Facebook page, and he said something, and I've often wondered whether this is true of risk takers. Sometimes it's just the sense of bravado and adventure. It's the fact that, damn, I can get away with this.
The thrill.
The thrill.
The thrill.
It's done strictly for the adrenaline rush.
Talking about stealing, right? Huh?
Whatever it may be. Is that a common reason for risky behavior?
Some of them do say that I can get away with it. I want to push and see how far I can get. Yeah.
Like even when it comes to teens, right? It's pushing the boundaries to see how far they can go before they get caught, right?
Yes, so that's the developmental stage. But there's also the disorder. So sometimes disorder causes the impulsivity. I think we were talking about like stealing. So some of the stealing behaviors, they are more impulsive. They don't think through, or they cannot control themselves.
Right. Kleptomaniacs.
Yeah. So it also comes to when they hurt themselves as well. That's risky behavior as well, isn't it? Okay.
Yep.
Wow,
So
okay.
putting yourself at risk, there's no benefit to anyone else. There's no benefit to the self.
Do people outgrow risky behavior? Like, I mean, as you say, developmental stages, teens, we were all like, let's do this. We've never tried it before. We want to experiment. We want to explore our boundaries and stuff like that. But as you get older, you also get smarter and you also get more matured, and you also know what the consequences are. So, is that a natural growth pattern that you outgrow risky behavior?
Most of us learn how to deal with our environments. We learn the rules of the environment. So later we can look at what we can do about the risky behaviors.
Right. Just like
What
yesterday,
parents can do.
I was talking to a good friend of ours, Desiree Lai, yesterday, and everyone knows she broke her ankle really badly.
Skateboarding.
Roller skating. I think it was
Roller skating.
It was roller skating.
Roller
I'm
skating.
thinking, how the hell did she do that? Because the roller skates, right? You're talking about the boot.
Yeah.
It's a high cut boot made of leather. So for her to have still broken her ankle like that,
Snapped it in two.
was just awful. So yesterday she comes in, of course, all brave lah, because she's all kind of almost healing up, right? So I ask her, I'm like, hey, Des,
Does that mean you'll stop?
Yeah, are you gonna go roller skating again? So yeah, of course. You only live once. You can walk on the road and get hit by a car. That kind of example.
Yeah.
What do you think? Stupidity or
YOLO.
or just
I don't think it's risky behavior at all. I mean,
No.
that's to me, it's not risky
Why?
behavior.
we just watched the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
these kids who are like 12 years
Skateboarding.
old and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and to me, I feel like, look, if she was 12, 15 or whatever, different story. But she's at an age now where if you break it again, let's say, it's going to take a long time to heal. So for you, right? If someone comes up to you like that and tells you their story, what would you say? Would you encourage? Would you concur with the person that life is short, just do whatever you want, or would you do would you analyze a situation and go like, okay, maybe this is a little bit more risky.
Find out why you actually want to do it again.
Yeah, what do you think?
If for her, she's an adult. She is fully capable of making her own decisions,
Right.
and she is able to bear the consequences, and she's accepting of the consequences. But when we talk about some of these youths, they don't know the consequences, or they hear the consequence, but they are not really understanding what these consequences mean. And in the longer term, they might not be able to deal with the consequences. If they jump and they break a leg and they cannot use their leg anymore, or they're paralyzed waist down.
Right.
Can they deal with the consequences?
Right.
Because I think if we're talking about Desiree's situation, you can't live the rest of your life in fear.
Yeah.
You need to get out there and do it.
But when I spoke to her, I didn't believe her.
Well,
I just felt like she was putting up a brave front.
No, I think Desiree is the kind of person who will actually get up and get on those skates again, and she will do it. She's that sort of person. But the question I have to ask is, we keep going back to the adolescent and the developmental stage and how risk taking happens there. Is it in any degree necessary for the development of a person?
So risk taking to a certain degree is required. So we want our little ones to take the risk, stand up and walk, right?
Yeah.
So the little toddlers, we want them to be adventurous with their foods. We want them to try different things, to go out to different environments and know that they are safe. So yes, it is, important. Imagine like if after you didn't take that career plunge and take that risk to do that career plunge, you would not be sitting here, and we would not have enjoyed you for how many years? 50 years?
Okay, let's not go. Yeah, close. 50 years. 50. Has that almost
What I'm saying is that you're really, really wonderful in your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So sweet. Okay, hold on, Gerry. We're going to let this guy over here, whom you just complimented, do the traffic update, because he's the CEO of traffic.
That's the CEO of traffic.
Okay.
When we come back, we can do this reminder again.
What is
Okay.
this?
Your medical topics.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's do that.
Okay,
WhatsApp
pass it to... everything is up here.
Okay, very good.
1.3 traffic.
We've got the usual delays across the expressways. The CTE towards the SLE, a vehicle broken down after Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5 exit. Upper Serangoon Road towards the city. We've got roadworks after Hougang Avenue 5. Avoid the left lane there. Please stay within the speed limit. Make sure you've got everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. For those of you who are just joining us today for the very first time, and I think every day we're getting converts.
Yeah. I
Because
think
they're
so.
tuning into, other breakfast shows and then going like, what is this? What is this rubbish? It's not serving me at all. What nonsense. And then they tune into us. Oh, okay.
We can learn something here.
Yeah,
we
it's a
got
show
content.
for us,
Yes, this
And
is
speaking
true.
of a show for us, we mentioned earlier on that we're planning to get doctor or doctors, okay, to come in on Wednesdays and all that. And if you've got any medical condition or anything that you would like these doctors to address, you can WhatsApp us 88550913. Mental wellness, we're leaving it to Dr. Geraldine Tan, so you don't have to mention that. But if you're talking about even plastic surgery, breast augmentation,
Yeah,
breast
anything.
implants,
Yeah.
whatever it
Or
is,
any kind of
just-
implants.
Yeah,
So, Gerry,
other implants, butt implants.
Calf.
calf implants.
Calf implants. There you go. Ab implants.
implants.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, man.
Because I was talking to them yesterday, I said, I think I need something for my face.
Oh,
Like I need like Botox shots or whatever.
okay. All right. Anyway, let's carry on with Dr. Jerry.
So I
Yes.
just want to go a little further. Jerry, you were saying that, yes, we want to encourage our children to take certain risks when it comes to food and blah, blah, blah. But, okay, in my day, boys climb trees. If you fall, you break your arm. Never mind. You're a boy. Is that right? Should parents support that kind of risk-taking?
Why not, Glenn?
No.
Yes, I think everyone
they fall
should climb
down,
trees.
they break their head, game over. I will be a very protective parent.
Yeah.
Really.
Every child should climb trees,
I don't
climb
mind-
into drains.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I don't want my child to limp into life. No.
Limits
I
of
think
life.
we need to know what the dangers are and how to maneuver them. Yeah, if not, then we feel like there's only one route and one route only. We become very inflexible, you know. So the curiosity, the adventure permits us to be more flexible with how we deal with our environment. You know, rather than everything is from the book or everything is one way or you just follow my way. What happens if mommy and daddy is not there? Then they are lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I say that is we've got Moll on our Facebook page who said, Moll says, I'm not a risk taker, so I've never broken bones before. The risk takers around me have had so many injuries, including broken bones. They constantly got drama in their lives. They seem to enjoy their lives so much.
Yeah, but when they grow old, they'll feel all these breaks in their bodies.
But they don't feel it now.
No,
And what counts as now? Yeah.
you know, it's debatable. It's debatable, right? So I've got some scenarios for us to debate about.
Oh, fantastic! Yay!
You know, so we spoke about a few. So eating. Have you tried fugu?
Yes.
No.
Oh, is this
Yes.
the
Pufferfish.
the pufferfish? Okay.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Yes. How was it? I've never
love it.
tried.
I love it. I
Keep on
absolutely
eating
love
it every day, Keep on
But
eating
it's
it every day.
poisonous.
No.
So
It's not poisonous.
People
Yeah.
who cook fugu are specially trained to
make sure the poison is not poison,
to
right?
prepare the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you know that person is specially trained? Let's say if I bring you to a Japanese restaurant, it's a new chef. How do you know he's specially trained?
Well, you know,
They have a license.
halfway through the meal, if I start going fugu, fugu, you know he's not trained.
Yeah, a bit too late, right?
This is unnecessary. I would never try fugu.
But I
Oh,
would
it's
I would
awesome.
firstly I would try it if I ate fish. Secondly, I would try it if I knew that the chef had a reputation of actually being trained. You don't go walk into any, Tom, Dick, and Harry sushi place
Yeah.
and decide to eat pufferfish.
So in other words, Angel is saying no. She's
No,
not
that's
gonna
not
do
true.
it as well.
I did not
No.
say no.
Yeah,
I
because
said I would.
because who do you know here in Singapore who's
This is why I
who's-
haven't tried it.
You asked this guy over here,
Yeah.
FD.
Yeah.
Where
He
did you
didn't even
have it?
check. He didn't
No.
even check with the chef.
No, I went to a restaurant that specialized in
There
fugu.
you go. You don't know.
Specialized in-
You don't
the
know
chef was
everything about
Japanese.
FD.
Maybe the damn dishwasher was the one. Who was... Do you know that in Japan they are so strict with it, right?
Yes.
After they're done with the fugu, right, the spare parts and all that, it goes in a box and then they lock it up
Oh, really?
because
wow.
it's that
dangerous.
lethal. Yes.
Wow.
It's
Yes,
it really is a
yes,
lethal
yes,
fish.
yes.
Okay. So the first
That's fugu.
that's for
Okay.
good.
How about base jumping?
Base jumping.
I mean, out of planes.
Well, we've jumped out of planes before, but we've done tandem skydiving,
Tandem.
and that in itself was a risk.
Yeah.
You know, one time I didn't want to do it again,
I've
but at
done
least I
it.
can say I've done it.
I've done it
You know.
3 times, yeah.
But base jumping is different, lah. Base
Base
jumping is
jumping
different.
No, sorry.
On your own, nope.
No.
Okay. This one is up for people to argue betting and gambling.
No, I don't bet and gamble.
I took the risk once. I took the risk once with $5. I went up to a lot of money. I went home losing money. So now I don't gamble at all. I don't even buy a sweep ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't gamble as well, but you know, if I'm in Australia, for example, I will go to the Crown Casino, and just play roulette. I like playing, roulette. But I would set aside a certain amount of money
And then walk
Then,
away. Yeah.
if I lose everything, I'm out.
Yeah, like I've done it for fun, but I know when to walk away. So
Yeah.
it's not something that will suck me in ever. You know, I don't do it out of habit, and I don't do it just
Yeah.
because everyone else is doing it. I
Not
do it
like
just
Mark
for fun.
Wahlberg in The Gambler. No. Not like that. Okay, Gerry, hold on. We're going to play a song right now on the radio, and on the Big Show TV, we'll continue this conversation. Here's Gloria Maria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Conga on the Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
I love how you always have to use her middle name just because you met her. Right? You met her,
Oh,
right?
no, I've always... No.
Oh, no.
We've
Rap
spoken
for
to
her.
her.
We've spoken to
you
her.
rap for
On the
her.
phone.
And she actually said he's got a great singing voice.
Right? He's always like
Gloria.
Gloria Marie Estefan.
Friends,
Gloria
they're
Maria
friends.
Estefan.
Okay, what else do we debate about, Gerry?
Career switch.
Yeah, we've done it. Yeah.
I've never done it.
I think that is a risk that sometimes you may not have a choice with. If you want to see development, if you want to get out of a rut, if you want to see growth, sometimes you don't have a choice. It is a risk you have to take. Just for your own sanity, it is a risk you have to take.
Yeah, so that I forgot to say one more was situational. When does it occur? Situational risk-taking behavior. So you've just described one of it that is necessary.
Yeah.
One of it that's really, really sad for situational risk-taking behavior. Do we remember the 911 incident, the Twin Towers?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was either I burn in the building or collapse with it, or I jump. So we saw a
Situational.
lot. Yeah.
But that's kind of when your instinct kicks in as well, isn't it? It's like it's you almost don't have
Maybe.
time to think as well. You got to make that decision. It's like
Yeah,
either
it's so
either you
horrible,
burn
right?
or you jump. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not something we
terrible,
can go
so
into.
sad.
Yeah.
But that's what many of our youth minds are like. They feel so cornered. They feel like they're gonna burn up, or they feel like there's no way forward, and the only way is down.
That's a
Yeah.
great point. That's a very good point, Gerry, that you've just brought up, because it puts things in perspective.
So would it be would peer pressure be considered situational?
It can be, so we were talking about bullying and cyberbullying. They feel like they have nowhere else to go because their world is only home and school, right? So the whole world seems to know who they are. The whole world seems to be pointing fingers at them. There's nowhere that they can go. And the only way is to just disappear from the entire world. And that's what some of them say. I just need to disappear. I just want to disappear. Life has no reset button, so I have to go.
So that's why you were talking about, like, so the example you just cited, right, makes me think that the youth, right, who are being cornered, they do these things deliberately to either gain attention or to hurt themselves. And that's why they engage in risky
But
behavior.
even the hurting of themselves is to gain attention.
Exactly.
Is it
That's
to
what- that's what I
gain? Is
mean.
it to gain attention, Gerry?
Not entirely.
It's not, right?
No, not all of them. So if you're talking about some of the self-injurious behaviors, and that they kind of put on display, then maybe yes, but or they put it on their IG stories. But many of them who their methods are a bit more fatal.
Yeah.
That's not attention-seeking behavior is not. Yeah.
Gerry, let me ask you, because I wonder, you try something risky, it works. You try something risky, it works. Can risky behavior become addictive?
Personality types, right? If your personality type is the type that looks for thrills, looks for excitement, it can get quite addictive.
Adrenaline junkies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like roller skating.
Yeah.
I hope she's not tuning
I
in.
know,
right
right?
now, right?
Well, she can always rewatch this. Our Facebook stays up, and now we've made it immortal on
Why?
YouTube as well,
I
right?
don't know what to say when someone rollerblades and breaks the ankle.
And
then
then goes
rollerblades
back
again.
again to rollerblading.
No, but I mean, you can go back again. But how do you break your ankle roller
If
skating?
you
You
fall,
can.
get up again, right?
You can.
Let me just tell you, I was the roller skating national champion here in Singapore. It's just that I didn't tell you guys about this.
okay,
I was like jumping over drains and stuff like that, in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what? We should bring you a pair of roller skates
No,
into
cannot.
the
Actually, I would love to
studio.
try, again, I haven't...
Try.
But you see,
I would
the
love
thing
to
is,
try
the thing
again.
is, you see, unlike other people, I think, before I do these things, I'm 51 years old. Do I want to put myself at risk and break something and then, spend so much time recuperating and all that?
We'll bring you knee pads and everything else as
Isn't
well.
my life, good enough already? I love enjoying myself, walking my dog in the evening. I don't need to do anything extreme,
But if rollerblading
You're just
or
not an
roller skate-
extreme, so you're not a risk taker.
Well, I can be a risk taker in other areas.
Like what?
But not necessarily, when it comes to my health or physicality.
Yeah, but you've got to understand
what I
also,
mean?
Gerry, tell me if I'm wrong. We see this as a risk because of age and where you are,
Yeah.
and it's rollerblading or roller skating or skateboarding or whatever. Does the person doing it see it as a risk?
No.
Yeah. I think
Of course not.
You don't.
A very good example would be FD.
You don't.
When we exercise on a Monday, he won't even stand up.
No.
You know what I mean? So he doesn't do these things because he doesn't want to take unnecessary risks.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
I know
why you're
that
not
for a
doing
fact.
it?
Yeah.
Really?
Glenn is the only person who understands what happens when I blow my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
So-
the show alone.
I think FD is a risk taker, FD amongst all of us is a risk taker, but he knows what the odds
The
are.
boundaries
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows where the boundaries are. He ate fugu. Come on, and he
We don't
jumped
even know whether
three
that's true.
times.
Hey,
Three
someone
times.
someone could have
And
just
he
fed him.
career switch.
I tell you, it wasn't fugu. Probably it was codfish, innit?
It was fugu lah.
You're just missing out. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I haven't eaten
Julian,
fugu.
have you tried fugu?
Hi. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
See?
See?
Was it in Singapore or in
Julian is a risk
Japan?
taker.
In Japan.
In Japan.
Tried it
Yeah,
in
like you
Japan.
must try fugu in Japan. Don't try it here.
Full of nonsense.
Yeah, he is full of nonsense, yeah.
I don't think I'm a risk taker. I don't know. As I age, I become less
You're more conservative.
courageous. I become less
Yeah.
courageous.
I think that's okay.
I
That's
think
a good
that's
thing.
with everyone, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's-
It's as we eat. Everything within moderation. As Gerry said, know your boundaries, know how far you can push it. But that doesn't mean you don't try it.
That's true.
Okay.
Try
For the
it.
parents, right? Since we are on the boundaries, I know Julian is here, and I'm gonna rush a little bit.
You can stay actually if you want.
yeah.
No, it's his time. So
It's okay. You can listen to what I've
You
got to
drive
say.
on, yeah.
That's fine.
I do. Okay. What can we do, right? So
Yeah.
besides boundaries, knowing the boundaries, putting out the boundaries for our youths, putting out the boundaries for ourselves.
Okay, hold on, Gerry. We want you to
do
say
something.
bye in a while on
Yeah.
the radio, okay?
Oh,
so
okay.
after traffic, we'll wrap.
Okay.
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 We don't want
I
to-
have a very special message for Gerry at the end of this.
Awesome.
No, she's closing, bro. She's closing. Okay.
1FM 91.3 traffic.
Alrighty, usual delays across the expressways, the BKE towards the PIE. A vehicle broken down at the SLE exit. Loyang Avenue towards New Loyang Link. A vehicle broken down after Pasir Ris Drive 1. Upper Serangoon Road towards the city. Roadworks after Hougang Avenue 5. Avoid the left lane. Stay within the speed limit, please. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning, you're tuned into The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. And we've had such a great time talking about risky behavior.
Yep.
Gerry, thank you so
Yes.
much. Would you like to, any final words?
I have a few. Okay, so we were talking about it. I want to empower the parents what to do about it. So we were talking about boundaries, set some boundaries. So we can do that for ourselves also. Know what your values are. So we need to impart the values to our children. communicate with them. So you don't just know your values, know your boundaries, but don't tell them and then get angry with them. Please, a lot of parents, many parents do that. Okay. Engage with your youth, because many of the youths come to me and they say, oh, I don't talk to my parents. And I ask them why. And they say, well, they don't want to know, so I don't tell. And I ask them, what do they actually mean? Oh, and they say, my parents look disinterested.
Oh,
so yeah. So I don't think the parents are disinterested, but sometimes they're on their phones, they're doing something else, they're engaged with something else. So engage with them. And the last one is quite funny, but and parents are going to scream at this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Know your children or your youths, even when they grow up, their social groups and their peers. It's very important to know. You don't have to go into that whole space and muscle your way in, but at least know who they're mixing with. So you know what you're up against, and you know which boundaries to reiterate, which values to reiterate again.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Gerry.
Yep. And one last one that one of the youths last week had said, because he had the idea of jumping and hurting someone. And he sat in front of me, and I asked him, would you do it? And he said, he's a wonderful, wonderful boy, very intelligent, okay? But sometimes the more intelligent they are, the tougher it is for them. And he promised me this, and I want parents, teachers, or whoever, just to have them agree to this statement. His mantra now is, Auntie Gerry, I won't do anything irreversible. And I say, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. So amongst all the risky behaviors, I think one thing that we need to understand is, can it be reversed? And I with all that, to close this topic, risky behavior is needed, but let's not do anything that is irreversible. So skateboarding is okay.
So true, Gerry. I just wanted to tell you what Chris Jack has got to say about you. He listens to us every Tuesday, and he says, when Dr. Gerry laughs, the sun shines brighter and 5 bunnies are born.
So many rabbits.
What is that? He's fantasizing about you, I think. Gerry. With all the rabbits on.
Stop it. Thanks, Gerry.
Thank you so much, Gerry.
Okay, I'll see you.
See you next week.
Thanks, Gerry. See you. Bye.
Did you catch that Gerry mentioned about skateboarding? Skateboarding is fine. You get injured, skateboarding is okay. It's still macho michi, But then when it comes to...
Machu Picchu?
Macho michi.
Macho Michi.
Yeah, but then... Macho lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then when you get injured and, roller skating, then it's not so macho michi.
All right. Good morning,
cool.
Julian.
Good morning,
guys.
Julian.
Morning.
And what do you have for us this morning, Julian?
Things you shouldn't do to your car.
Oh.
Just like risky behavior that Dr. Gerry just talked about, right? Things you shouldn't be doing.
Okay, we'll speak more about that on the Big Show
shouldn't
TV.
put in the fake sounds and all that. If your exhaust makes a certain sound, you don't need to put something else in.
To
I
make
don't know
it
what
louder?
it's called to make it sound like it's a Lamborghini.
Okay.
And then you turn around, no, that's not a Lambo. Okay, anyway. Here's Wilson Phillips with You're in Love on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
And you're like, where's the car going? Oh, it's still there.
Yeah, hey, how come this Toyota Crown sounds like a Lamborghini?
Nice one.
Okay.
All right, things you shouldn't do to your car. What can you tell us?
A lot of stuff, man. I mean, I think there are a lot of things that people do to their cars, and they don't realize that it's actually causing more harm than good to the car. So the first thing is definitely cheap, convenient car wash. When you stay in HDB, you have this guy coming around with a pail of water, and he just, he offers to clean your car.
Yeah.
I think you pay him weekly or monthly. I'm not too sure how you do it. It's not expensive. It's very affordable. A friend of mine once said, I think he pays like $30 to $50 for the entire month, and he washes every day.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: he has the same pail of water and the same cloth, and he just wipes down your car. If your car happens to be on, say, if he decides to start on the first floor and work his way up to the fourth, if you happen to park your car on the third, you're gonna have a pail of dirty water all
really?
over your car.
The water doesn't get changed?
I've never seen him change. I've never in my life.
I used to do that, and I used to make sure my car was parked on the ground floor.
What? You actually thought about that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay.
And think about it. All the dirt and debris will be swimming in the water, right? So when you pick it up, when you pick up that same cloth and you wipe it on your lovely car, you're gonna have a lot of scuff marks, and it's gonna cost a lot to respray. It's gonna cost a lot to polish off, so it's gonna be a bit of a hassle. So this is definitely one of the things you might want to consider avoiding, even though it's convenient, even though the first few weeks of washing, your car is always clean, whether it's raining, whether it's sunshine. It's, when you calm down, you see your car is just clean. There's no watermark, no nothing, unlike my car is a horrible mess. But at least I know that I do it the right way. That is to say, I send it for car wash, send it for car detailing, just so that the guys who are doing it know what they're doing. They use the correct cloth, the correct material without causing any swirl marks. Especially black cars, under the sun, you see swirl marks on the, so that can be really annoying. I mean, if you like me actually went to respray your car, you sort of want to maintain it as long as possible in tip-top condition. And if you I'm just gonna give it to someone else to wash it for me with the wrong way of washing. At least you're gonna get swirl marks in a couple of months. Maybe if you don't do it that often, maybe in a couple of years, but swirl marks are definitely gonna happen, and you really, really want to avoid that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I notice more and more people are getting their domestic helpers to wash their
They're
cars.
not allowed, right?
These days.
I thought they
think
weren't
some
allowed.
families, I mean, it's not illegal.
I thought it was, though.
No, I don't
No?
think so.
Okay.
I've
not
always-
sure, but
I've
I
always
thought
had
it
that
was.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was, but
I would love to wash my car myself. I used to wash my car myself every week because that is me time. I bring 2 cans of beer down and I slowly wash, and then I have a drink, and it's me time, and that's what I really enjoy.
Do you find it therapeutic?
Yes,
you're
very.
on your own, right?
Very, very, very therapeutic. I mean, if I don't go for my jog, I'll just opt for the car wash, and then I'll just take it as a workout as well.
Oh, nice.
I'll listen to my music, and then I take 2 cans of beer down. I'm just gonna enjoy myself. No disturbance from the wife. No disturbance from the kids. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's you time. Nice.
Yes.
Women go to the spa. Julian washes his car. There you go.
I think
That's right.
Many men
Many
do
men
that.
do that,
actually.
right?
They do.
Yeah.
But here's what many people do as well. Another thing that you guys really need to know is, how people like to just drive their cars until the light pops up for your fuel gauge, just to tell you that you're low on fuel. Don't do that. Don't ever do that, because it causes your fuel pump to spoil. So what happens is a fuel pump works best when it's filled up with submerged in fuel. It's designed to actually work while being submerged in fuel. So when you keep driving until you're really near the end, or when it's really like empty with the lights all flickering and all popped up, your fuel pump tend to overheat because there's no surrounding fuel to aid in the cooling.
Right.
So it'll cause your fuel pump to suck up the air and overwork, and it'll cause damages or premature wear of your fuel pump. So you kind of want to avoid that. So for me, I usually top up when it's like probably a quarter left. I'll just top it up. So that's just that's actually a better option.
Yeah. Just think of your fuel pump as a fish.
It needs
in water.
Yes, you know what? You're right. You're right.
That's a good
right.
yeah.
And as it goes lower, the fish is like.
I never even considered that a fuel pump could overheat.
Yeah.
It works extra hard, right?
Wow.
Think of the car. You know, your car is like just any other machinery. It is connected by all the wires and the bulbs and everything is all electronically. So there's a lot of heat coming out. And obviously there's a lot of cooling aids within the car to make sure that the temperature stays at its optimum level.
Yeah.
Don't test the system, man. I mean, you really don't want your car to overheat because it's a big, big headache. Because when I was previously with the Austin Mini, that happened all the time. It was so frustrating. It was so frustrating.
Right.
Well,
So
speaking
avoid
about keeping your fuel tank in good condition, what about getting maintenance done?
Okay, I strongly believe that the maintenance is, how should I put it? Go for quality maintenance. So I have to service my car once every 3 months because it's a COE car. I try to drag on to 4 months because I don't really drive my car very often, so I try and drag on. But every time I service, I spend extra to give it quality oil, engine oil, transmission fluid. I use better quality ones, meaning I don't use just any cheap ones, which require me more often than not to add additives. Now, all these additives that you're adding into your car may or may not work for you. Most of them don't really cause harm, but there are some that are just not suitable for your engine. And if you decide to just throw something into your engine, or at least your fuel gauge, you just throw something in, it might actually be a disaster in the making. So go for quality products.
Hold on. Ava Max right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We have Julian Kho with us, the editor at sgCarMart. Good morning once again, Julian.
Morning, guys.
Good morning, Julian. And we're talking about things that you shouldn't do to your car. And so far, you've been talking about cheap car washes as well as not running your fuel tank till empty before topping it up again, and also getting good maintenance done on the car when maintenance is due.
And you also spoke about additives because a lot of them, man in the street doesn't know what additive goes with which car. Let's be honest.
Well, to be honest, even I don't know. There's so many additives out there in the market. To be honest, I don't know. So I choose to avoid them altogether. Every time I go for my servicing or every time I have to maintain my car for maintenance or whatnot, I just spend extra just so that it's in good condition. My car will be in good condition because there are third-party additives that can cause more harm than good. And also, of course, when it comes to maintenance, don't opt for cheap tires. That's something that people know about this. I mean, people know that, you know what, tires are something that's really, really important. I mean, it's the contact that you have, with the road. You don't want to mess with that. But I think when push comes to shove, and I can understand that, if you opt for a tire that's really good quality, say Bridgestone or Michelin, what have you, and the price comes up to be, it's going to cost you $600 per tire. So it's going to be like, what, 2,400 for all 4 tires or something like that, or 1,006 for all 4 tires rather. And then you're just going to go like, oh man, it's just too expensive. I'm just going to opt for like, the $800 tire set or the $600 tire set. There's a reason why it costs less. The components inside the rubber might not be as good. The grip might not be as good, especially when it's raining. And you got to understand, you're in Singapore. It's either rain or shine, right? Yeah. And when it's shine, everything's fine and dandy. But when it's raining, you need to ensure the safety of not just yourself, but most definitely your occupants.
Yeah,
that's important. That's key. So when it's time to rotate tires, rotate your tires. When it's time to change tires, change tires.
The other thing that really annoys me, Julian, and we're talking about changing tires, is people who change their damn headlights. They put in these LED and these stupid high-intensity bulbs.
They're so blinding.
And you can't see a thing when you got this guy behind you.
It's different when people retrofit these LED or HID lights compared to when it comes standard. Because when it comes standard, the leveling is done properly. it doesn't shorten the shine. It actually goes far. So obviously, as it goes further, it starts dipping down. So people can actually see you, obviously, but it's not through the behind of the car, the rear of the car, into your rear view mirror, and then it just reflects on your eyes. It becomes very annoying. I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
On that note, I sidetrack a little bit. The other thing that's really annoying is people who are driving on high beam constantly.
I was about to say.
Why do people do that?
Some of them are not even aware.
Yeah.
And it's mainly the women who have no idea.
Hey.
I'm serious. They take over or they hit the high beam without realizing it, and they have no clue.
You know they're women because you're in front of them and then you slow down and
Yes,
and
absolutely.
The other
Julian and myself are the same.
Yeah.
We'll drive next to the person
Just
and
to have
see
a look.
who's driving.
No, I got to say, I was in a private hire car the other day,
Yeah.
and I could see his high beam indicator on his dashboard on.
Yeah.
And I'm going, dude, this is a brightly lit road. So I actually turned to him and I said, do you know your high beam's on?
He didn't know, right?
He didn't know. And I
Yeah.
said, you should switch it off because it's really annoying for other drivers. He goes, if I switch off, I can't see.
Oh.
No way.
What are you
No
talking
way.
If
about?
he can't see, he shouldn't be driving.
And it's a
Oh my
brightly lit
goodness.
road.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think Singapore has one of the best lit road around in the world.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You sometimes, because my headlights are not auto, you have to do it manually. I've got to do the flick, right?
Yeah.
There are times where I caught myself not having headlights at all. I'm one
Yeah.
of those guys. I drive out and I realize that something is wrong. Something is missing from my dash, and I look around and I realize I forgot to switch on the headlights, but I can still see very very clearly
Yeah.
because it's very brightly lit. So there's no excuse. But that's it, FD. That's it. You'll never know. Maybe he's got some issues with his eyes. Maybe he's got
That's
some
why
problems.
I was saying
right?
he shouldn't be
driving,
driving if he had
right?
issues
I
with
think
his
he's got
eyes.
issues with his brain. This one. Because FD
Guy's
told
gotta
him.
make a
I
living,
told
man.
him.
Yeah, no, still. I mean, I get the make a living part, but I mean, it needs safety first, right?
No, but I gotta give it to you, FD. At least you had the common courtesy to really tell him.
Tell him,
You know,
yeah.
because if it was me, I wouldn't be telling. I would
You'd be
probably
horning.
just yell at him and wind down my window and like, what are you doing, man? There's a high possibility I'll be doing that. But that's it, yes, because when you fit HID lights, just high intensity lights or LED bulbs, you actually require a specific projector lens or headlight housing to work properly. And if you don't, HID bulbs, what happens? It draws a lot of power and heat, and that can actually cause damage to your headlight assembly. It can even overheat your wiring, which is not what you want. So if your car comes with halogen, be proud of it, man.
Yeah.
Halogen lights were the thing in the past before LED and you gotta be proud of it. Mine is LED, so I'm still proud of it. But I'm just saying, if it's HID, leave it. If it's LED, leave it. If it's halogen, be proud of it.
Right.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Julian. We seem to have run out of time. It's always a big. This
No
is always
problem.
a situation. We
No
have so much to
problem.
talk about.
But we can
I
continue this
actually-
on
We
the Big
can
Show
continue
TV.
this on the
Yes.
Big Show TV.
I actually had the mind of actually joining earlier at 8 a.m. just to hear what Dr. Gerry had to say because I thought it was going to be a very interesting topic.
It always is.
It always
It
is.
always is. All right, we'll continue this on the Big Show TV right now. Coming up, headline news and sports.
Okay. And just to
Okay.
clarify, so that Angel doesn't think that I'm not a gentleman and you, I don't know whether you were around when Julian and myself said that when people irritate us on the roads, we usually drive up.
I was around.
And
I
look
was.
at you.
I
You
was.
were.
This was our women drive us better, and you said half the time they're women.
And there are
yeah.
two people that get away with it, as far as I'm concerned, right? Old people,
Yes.
I
Yep.
excuse,
And women.
and women, I excuse. Unless the
Yeah.
woman looks like a man, then
Oh!
it's a different story.
you know-
kidding.
Julian, I do have one question that I'd like to ask for those of you still on TV. I think
Yes.
it's an important question. People buy cars, then they put on wider wheels. They put spacers on to kick the wheels out.
Or
Yep.
they put on big wings at the back that seem to want to.
Oh, yeah. The ironing board at the back, right? Ironing board.
It's
It's
like
the
they're about to
lunch
take
table.
off.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
lunch
the lunch
table.
table.
It's a lunch table.
I've always
That's what
thought
we eat now.
I've always thought doing that is really dangerous. Am I right?
It is. Yes, it is dangerous. In fact, as long as your wheel, if you look from the front or the behind, if your wheel starts jutting out of your wheel arches, it's illegal.
Yeah, but then people put the additional arches on the car.
Arches?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
you got
wheel
both
arches.
I mean, not just is
Arches
it illegal,
on the
it's
wing.
dangerous
The
as
archer-
well because
the wheel arches.
It
You can
would be
extend.
dangerous because it changes the balance of the car as well, right?
It changes the
It
dynamics
does.
of the car. Some
Yeah.
people like to do it with, they want the cars to have nice stance, right? And
Yeah.
I completely get that. But yes, it actually harms your grip. It affects your grip and it harms your fuel economy as well. Significantly, actually.
Significantly.
Significantly.
Now these wings, the aerofoils they put on the back of a car.
Can they fly?
No,
Yeah, I know.
here's the thing. Do you need a permit to put that on? Because those wings have got to be put at a specific angle
To
in
actually
order
make sense,
to work.
right? Yeah.
Otherwise, at any high speed, they become a death trap.
The spoilers,
You're
are
going
you talking
To
about the
fly,
spoilers?
Yeah, the spoilers.
It's not necessary. I mean, okay, so what happens is my car comes standard with the spoiler. It comes standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fitted right at the optimum height.
Yeah.
Yes,
if I
yeah.
may.
It's supposed to be aerodynamic, right?
Yes, but there are some that people do it aftermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't exactly have to get permission for it. You don't have to do anything, but they do it because number one, it looks cool. Number two,
No, it
they
doesn't.
get to join their friends,
Oh, my
at some
goodness.
car park when they meet up, like check out my new spoiler, check out my new lunch table.
Yeah.
But they are mainly done for aerodynamics.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I am right. If it's not done properly, it turns your car into a death trap.
Yes, it does. It actually throws
Defeats
your
the
car
purpose,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so I know of some people who actually go to the track in Malaysia and Sepang very often, and what they do is they actually fine-tune their cars to the point where they install a spoiler themselves to make sure that it's very aerodynamically sound. But these people are the ones that are really going for testing, and they really make sure that the cars are done properly.
Yeah.
They're not screwing anything up. These are the ones, and I think a spoiler itself, if you buy a quality one, it's really quite pricey. It can be quite expensive.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I was right on that one because I see these spoilers and I worry, because they're going to kick in at 90 kilometers an hour. They're going to affect the airflow around
I
your
like the
car.
idea of the lunch table, though. It's great. It's great for the unvaccinated.
Yeah. Can't dine
Can't
in,
eat
right?
anywhere, right? So,
But I'll tell you this. I would like to consider myself as a car enthusiast. I love to upgrade my car, but here's the thing: do whatever you have to do underneath the car. Try your best to leave the outside as stock as possible. If even better, get a car that is already high performance if you can, and just leave it stock. Just try not to mess with it, because I always believe that when you mess with, like I said before, right, cars are all a machine. Everything is connected, wire, buttons, all the mechanical stuff. When you meddle with one thing, it will always affect something else without you realizing
Yeah.
it. So when tear increases significantly, you have to go for repairs, you have to go for maintenance very often. And if you don't, when something spoils, when a component spoils or wrecks, it will affect another component.
Correct.
And if you don't service it regularly, instead of changing it instead of a $300 maintenance, it can go up to $1,500 maintenance, because you have to change a lot of things at a time.
Yeah.
and as much as possible, use original parts, right?
Yes, as much as possible, try and use original parts. But there are cars that I believe don't have to. You don't
Alright.
really need original parts. I mean, I'll take the best car brand, universal car brand if possible, Toyota. Toyota, I mean, imagine a crown, right? I've got a reason for it. So I mean, a lot of parts are very universal for Toyota.
Yeah.
You can use it on another car make. You can use it on another brand, another model. It's a brand for everyone, man. It's a brand for everyone.
And Julian, speaking of brands, you see the Integra is making a comeback?
Yes, I saw that.
Next year.
I saw that. Yes, I saw that, and I saw the new Type R as well. I think they made it a lot less aggressive, a lot less bing, if I may. They made it a lot less bing. In my eyes, I thought it looked nicer, but I think my car still looks the best.
Yeah, of course you do.
I almost got an Integra years ago, man.
Well, it's making a
And
comeback.
then I chose the WRX instead. It was either the Integra or the Evo or the WRX.
You should see the new one.
Evil.
It's yeah.
Yeah, the new one looks very nice.
The
I
new
think
one
it's
looks
very
nice,
sweet.
yeah.
I'm not too sure when Singapore is going to get it. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure if Honda is ever going to bring it in. Even I hope they do. But you know what? For the sake of a conversation, right? I think the next Honda car to look out for, honestly, is the Honda E.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Electric, is
Honda
it?
E. Yes, Honda E will
Okay.
be the next car to look out for. I can't wait for car motors to bring it in. Parallel importers have already brought it in. It's one of the most interesting and intriguing electric cars I have seen thus far, and I've seen a lot.
So it's on the roads already.
It's on the roads already.
Okay.
Some of them have actually bought it from the parallel importers.
Okay.
The interior looks fabulous. It looks so, for lack of a better word, cute.
Oh.
It looks cute. You know, when you open up the fuel pump, I went to a motor show. I can't remember which country. I think it was Frankfurt or something. Was it Japan? Years ago, when you actually open up to charge, there's a smiley face there. A digital smiley face. I thought that was really cool, man. That is so Japanese, you know? That is
Yeah.
just so Japanese. And I thought it was a really, really nice touch. The interior is very futuristic. It looks very cool. I just don't know if it's a suitable family car. That's all.
I'm not sure about the exterior though. It looks kind of strange.
check
I'm
it
looking,
out.
I'm looking at the
I'm
picture.
looking at the
boxy,
pictures. It's
right?
love-hate. It's
It's
love-hate.
like a box. Yeah, it's a
But-
weird
Yes,
shaped box.
yes.
Yeah, but it's
It
something
is-
I would buy.
Very retro looking, though.
It's a very similar car to Suzuki Hustler and Honda
Yes.
N-Box, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
I always love these K cars. These K cars are like the sweetest things on the road, man.
What's a K
the
car?
Sweetest thing. The K car is a 660cc car.
Okay.
It looks like a boxy thing, just like what you're looking at the Honda E. It looks
Okay.
something like this, but it's petrol driven. It's petrol powered. I almost got myself a Suzuki Hustler years ago, but
Really?
the COE was crazy. I mean, to get a car that small for that high price, it just didn't make sense. So I just didn't want to I just didn't want to splurge that kind of money on a car that's so little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think Honda E will be the next car we all have to look out for. I mean, regardless whether Tesla is in town, regardless of whether any other electric car makers are in town, the electric car to really take note of, I reckon, would be the Honda E.
Well,
Okay.
let's see if you're right then.
Yes.
Okay, Julian, thank you so much for joining us today. As
Thank you
always,
so much.
it's been
Thank you
a
so much.
pleasure. We should, sit down and talk cars a little bit more often.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes,
Yes.
We all love cars.
I love my Tuesdays. I just love being on the show. So thank you so much.
We love
thanks,
you being on the
thanks.
show too.
Thanks,
bro.
Julian.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Julian Kho, editor, sgCarMart. All right. It's time for us
Share
to
the
go.
video. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.